whole life will pass you by and you just were scared the whole time. Be more fearless, man, and take the leap, take the chances, man, because you're gonna learn from, even if you fail, man, you're gonna learn, and if you fail at something that you really want to do, you'll continue to go after it anyway. Exactly. Nothing grows and it's uncomfortable, right? We know
that's so true.
We know that things only grow in discomfort.
Yes.
Right. And so if we're comfortable in life, and that's not to say that we shouldn't find comfort in life. Yeah. But comfort is only a place to relax for a moment.
Exactly.
It's not anywhere we want to
ever rest.
Stay. It's just to rest and have some comfort, but then to get back out there and stretch ourselves and put ourselves in these uncomfortable situations or just challenging situations where we know, yes, okay, I'm going to grow from this. It's challenging, but the things I'll learn about myself and the way I'll be stretched in this way, it's worth it.
That's some wisdom. All right, sorry. Trailblazers, welcome back. And if you're new to the show, welcome. I'm your host, Toot Kailech, aka K1, and we are here in a Zen space that is operated by my brother. I'm gonna also have some still shots and some visuals that you guys can see, because this space is beautiful. So today we would like to introduce a Lincoln legend in my eyes. Today we are in a Zen space. Today we are joined by a health enthusiast, a creative artist, high vibrational being, Afrocentric artist who's also colorblind, and a father. Trailblazers, please help me in welcoming Jevon Woods to the podcast.
My man. Thank you. My brother. Thank you.
Yes. So if you find any of the information in the conversation valuable, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe to the podcast, leave a 5-star review, because it takes a lot of work. And right now, behind the camera, we got Rick Bull. Shout him. Go follow him on Instagram, Rick Bull Visuals. Yeah, I got you right. So yeah, Jevon, we met 6 months ago. We're working on a mural. I think it's going to be one of the first murals in that historically black neighborhood.
I believe so, for sure.
And we're putting it on a newer building. Yes. So I'm excited to be working on this, because I first met you 6 months ago because of another Lincoln legend, Albert Maxi.
Shout out to Mr. Maxi.
He has paved the way for a lot of folks, especially athletes and artists. Yeah. And if I didn't even notice, he's 87.
87, man.
He's getting around easy.
Man, we go biking in the morning, man.
That's crazy.
Biking. Yeah, Mr. Maxi is.
He did 10 push-ups in front of me the other day.
He was showing off.
He's like, he was like, you don't think I could do? You don't think I could do stuff? He got down. I was like, whoa. I was like, he could probably get down, but can he get up?
Yeah. Hey,
he had no problem.
Every morning he says he hits the ground, push-ups
and some planks. Yeah. See, that's some health tips, some fitness tips for y'all as y'all get older. Yeah. But yeah, I heard about your art and seen your art at the Lux 2021, and I heard about you through the grapevine from Catherine Weiss. Shout out to Cat Weiss.
Shout out to Cat, extraordinary artist. Cat.
So yeah, who is an artist that you think is underrated locally?
Locally, I would have to say my buddy Jerome Spears, Mr. Spears.
Yes,
Mr. Spears. Yeah, he's a wordsmith artist and a collage artist.
Yes. I've seen some of his work that you showed me.
Oh, yeah. And so his work, a lot of people might not recognize it as art.
Yes.
And so that's the thing about it. Just a lot of times art, if it's not put into a certain box or a certain space, it's not recognized as art. But like we talked about before. Agreed. It's the art of everything.
Yes.
Right? So everything, as long as our lens is big enough and wide enough and our mind is wide, to recognize it everywhere that we see it. The art in the way someone moves, the art in the way someone dresses, the art in the way someone speaks.
Yes.
Every single thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are 3 misconceptions about a freelance artist like yourself? What are some of the things that, after somebody books you, what are some of the things that, they thought things were supposed to be like? What do they not understand about the artist?
Well, one of the biggest things is just with the commission, it's the the control, or like if you want me to paint, you commission me to do a piece, and you know the type of styles that I paint in, and then it becomes the whole trying to control the whole piece. You know, kind of controlling. It's like, I'll give you a deposit back. I'm not gonna, I'm just not going to do that, because if you want me, when we create, we want to create from a space of freedom.
Yes,
that's the only way to do it.
I like that.
You know, and if it's not free to create, then it's like, what is this? It's become something else. You know, it's too constricting.
That's true.
I mean? So
you want to be free.
We want to be free. We want to be free to create in the space that we want and how we want. You know, and without that, yeah, it's just
things can't come naturally to you when it comes to some of the artwork that you do. Like you said, you go out early in the morning. You do something. You do some biking.
Yeah.
You go out in nature. Kind of inspires you, and all these other things. Yeah. And I think people just, what I think is a misconception about freelance artists, like they're always in the zone.
Right.
But we all know that nobody's always in the zone.
No.
You got to get in a certain mind space and also an environment for that to happen.
That's so true. And it comes and goes, and it's like you have spurts and moments where you're just not creating anything.
Yeah.
Not physically, but it's always working in your mind.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that never shuts off. So you're always coming up with ideas and thinking about things that you want to bring into reality, or and that's the beautiful thing about creating. Like, I love the process of it more than anything, because you start with one idea, and as you go, it becomes something else.
Yeah.
And allowing it to take that route without saying, no, this is how it's supposed to be. I want it to be. No. Let it take its own course.
I'm only laughing because I feel like I'm experiencing that right now.
Yeah.
What requests what requests do you often get and don't want to work on? After people do see the work that you do, what are some of the things that you're like, nah, I'm not going to do that?
Well, when I first started, I was taking on every commission, like, just because I wanted to.
Yeah.
So I was taking on everything.
We got to get some money on it.
Right, I'm trying to get. And then after a while, I realized, like, I couldn't do that. Like, I'm not going to paint someone's pet.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do that. It's have no.
I'm not going to paint somebody's pet.
Or like even people, some kids, and if there's no connection to the piece, I know I can't.
Yeah, like you got a Nipsey piece.
Yeah, things that I'm.
Did you draw that yourself? There's that photo.
That portrait is by an artist named Masha. She
That's
did that
fire.
there. She's super dope. She did that, and then she moved away. She gave it to me when she moved away. So yeah, she killed it. And that's acrylic too. She's incredible, man.
That's fire.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if someone does ask for a piece of art for you to create, what do you think about that most people don't tend to like? Okay, most people often overlook the creative process, but what do you think most people like don't think about as an artist? Because like when we're working on our mural, I thought it was going to take like 3-4 months,
right?
But that's not true.
Right.
So what are most folks like overlooking? I
think most times the time frame, and then just like if someone's asking for a commission, and that I think they overlook that it's not going to be worked on every day. There's just going to be days where it just don't want to work on that particular piece. It's just not there, and I'm going to be working on some other things. You know? And also that, you know, if we come up with an idea that we start out with, it might take different form. It might take a different shape. And to trust the process of it. You know what I mean? A lot of times people have a fixed idea of something, and that's just not even how life works. It's like, how many times have we thought things were going to be this way?
Hundreds.
And we think we're planned it all the way out to the T, and as we're going along, it does not happen like that. And it takes different routes, and we still get to that end point. Or sometimes it's even a better viewpoint. When we get there, it's a better perspective because we've taken this other route and gained all these other little bits of knowledge or just wisdom or skills or just ideas along the way. You know? So
okay, so Jevon, this podcast is about providing listeners with a mindset and a perspective that will kind of get them in a space of feeling fulfilled or successful, right? We want to encourage people to take that leap of faith, you know, jump off the fence. And to stop overthinking and start their journey. So I want to show them all the people that I know that are already doing great things and don't have to look too far. A lot of times we feel like we can only see it from folks on social media, but that's not true. There's a lot of creative folks in your area.
Facts.
So could you tell our listeners a little bit about your background and how your artistic journey started, and when that started, was that what you wanted to do after high school?
Yes, that's a good question. So, like, as a child, as far back as I can remember, I would always love to draw.
Yeah.
You know, and my mother would tell me, like, I would draw all over the walls.
Yeah. Oh, she would be on your butt, huh?
All over the walls. And I would say, that's not me. I didn't do it. She was like, it's your name. You did it, right? And so I love to draw. There were buddies that I grew up in the neighborhood with, and all of us could draw, and we all would hang out, and we would draw comic book covers, and we just loved the different styles of art. And as I got a little older, I kind of put that on the back burner. I didn't do it. I left art alone. I was an athlete. And
so in high school, you kind of left it alone?
Left it alone in high school. I didn't really even do it in high school. I didn't start painting until 7 years ago. So I was from about 2010 to 2019, 18, 19, I was a personal trainer. I had a gym.
Oh, okay.
And so I've dedicated my life to that, helping people and keeping myself in the shape. And then once we shut the gym down, I started dating this woman from Omaha, and she was a program director for the Love Jazz Art Center. Okay. And so she took me around. We started going to galleries. We started going to museums. Local, and that kind of sparked something. Then she invested in me, man. She bought canvases and paint, man, and from there,
she wanted you to do
she seen something in me, man, and that's the beautiful thing when people, because we all have these blind spots in ourselves. So it's like when someone else sees something and they're willing to invest that, that can go a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. How old do you think he is?
47. Yeah.
Hey, black don't crack.
It don't.
So high school, did you grow up here in Lincoln?
Yeah, I went to Lincoln High, graduated in 96.
96. Yeah. You were born 90.
Not you.
Okay.
7 years early.
Really?
Dang.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So if we could travel back to the 18-year-old Jevon, what are some piece of advice and some gems that you would give him?
That's a good question, man.
Now knowing where you are and knowing how things could unfold, what are some gems that you would tell 18-year-old Jevon?
Man, that's a good question, man. I would tell myself just to be more fearless, man. Just to, and it's hard at that age not to care about what other people think.
Of course.
And not to and to second guess a lot, but just to be more fearless, man, and take the leap, take the chances, man. Because you're gonna learn from, even if you fail, man. You're gonna learn, and if you fail at something that you really want to do, you'll continue to go after it anyway. Exactly.
Like you'll just adjust in a different way. It might be a different, initiative that you try.
Right.
But I always tell people, like, be curious about a lot of things so you can go down that journey, and then you'll be like, wait, actually I don't want to do this, but I do like this.
Right. There you go. You discover things as you go down these paths, and it might not be exactly what the initial goal was, but as you're headed down this path, you said, oh damn, what about this? And I never would have came across that had I not even headed, headed. So it's like, take the chance, man. Like, go after the thing, and because you never know, man.
You never know. Because when you said your girlfriend at the time was helping you kind of get that fire started within you, who were some other people that inspired you to pick up the paintbrush, the pen?
That's a good question. Troy. So it's an artist named Troy here.
He got an Instagram?
Yeah, Troy. What's his Troy?
We can figure it out, though.
Spencer. It's Troy Spencer. He and Ben Jones, both local artists, they inspired me a lot, man. I'd always loved their work. And Kat, of course, Kat's.
Yeah, Kat's always.
Yeah, Kat's just.
She's always been very creative.
Yeah, Kat.
Okay, so I remember us having a conversation. You said you was a personal trainer, but what was your reasoning on choosing personal training? Because obviously health is like a main goal that a lot of us should have. But I know it's not, it just wasn't finance, right?
Right.
What was your other goals with that?
So with the personal training, at the time, my mom had just had both her knees replaced.
Oh.
So she had a surgery, major surgery, and she had both knees replaced, and she went into physical therapy and got them both done. So I went through the physical therapy with her.
Okay.
Right, and was watching how hard she worked and just noticing some other people. And so I'm like, I really like working with people, because you get to really see in real time.
Yeah, their
really
gradual progression.
And the work and just the amount of effort and honest effort that it takes to get through that, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do, and things aligned. And my partner and I, who was a ex-girlfriend of mine at the time, was the trainer too. The gym, and then you meet these people along the way, man. You get to help people, and they're really changing their whole life. They're becoming a whole different person.
Yes,
not just physically, but mentally, in the way they see themselves.
Yes,
and so that was the most rewarding thing, man. Just being able to journey with people for an amount of time and watch them change and grow and become, you know.
That's one thing I also like miss about some of the jobs that I've done in the past, is like working with kids, because you start to see kids progress. You start to see kids progress and see how they evolve as human beings. And I always love seeing that, because in some of the work that we do, especially the work that I do, it's hard to see like progression right away.
Right. It's
going to take years for that thing to implement. And that's the reason why I kind of asked you about that question about personal training. When did you make that shift to being a creative? Was it your partner at the time?
Yeah, well, I think so.
Or I know it had to be something else. That was just kind of reassurance.
Yeah, I think it was there the whole time.
Okay.
And I think that it showed up in different areas.
Okay.
But it wasn't anything that I fully embraced. And so once I fully embraced it, even when I first started to paint, I was reluctant to call myself an artist. It was a new title.
Exactly.
You know, and it was a new thing. So people, I kind of paint, I'm kind of, you know, and then one day I just decided to own it. Yeah. I'm an artist.
Fully immersed.
And then once I did that, then things started to unfold too. It's interesting when when we claim things and we say things out loud, how that
manifests out.
Well, yeah, and then you start to see things, and then things start to come to you in a way where it's like, I am. Yeah. You know, and so that was one of the biggest things. But I think, just the whole time it was there, and I think it was just, it showed up in other areas other than painting.
Okay. When did you feel comfortable it was time to share your work? Because a lot of people, they do things, you know, in the shadows. Right. They work at home, and that's fine. But like, if somebody wants to like share their gift to the world, right, that's like another step. For sure. So when did you feel like it was a good time for you to share your work, and what were some of the things holding you back from doing it earlier?
That's a good question. So when I started sharing my work, like I started to just dabble with the paint, you know, and then my sister had a friend who wanted a painting. Yeah. So she was
what
like,
was
my brother. It was a piece. It was like a 16 by 20. This was the first piece I ever sold that someone bought. And I'm like, and it was 16 by 20, and it was a piece of a black woman with a crown on her head. Right? Okay. And I look back at it now because it was early work, and every time I look at her early work,
you're like,
no matter,
you gotta I could have fixed that. I could have fixed that.
Right. But it was like she. It was so that was the first piece, and then after that, I ended up getting contacted by, it was Latoura.
Shout out to Latoura. Yeah.
Latoura had a space at Paris Studios.
Yeah.
And so it was her last month there, and she says, well, I want you to be headline first Friday headliner. So I got to showcase all my work in there, and I wasn't, whether I was ready or not, it was time. Yeah. And so that's the thing. A lot of times in life it's like that, whether we're ready or not. When the timing is there, it's like, I don't know if I'm ready, but the time is here. So and so I did that, and I got some additional exposure from 10/11. So things started to really align in a way where it was like, so I had an interview on 10/11. Yeah. And they talked about the first Friday, and I was the first headline African-American artist to headline the first Friday. Yeah, Paris. So
that's so
it was super dope. And so after that, it was like kind of just start to
like, okay,
I got this, and the confidence grew, and I'm like, oh, I could do this.
Okay, so we are in your studio, right?
Yeah.
And this is a dope environment to create. What are some of the things you had to get in order to have this space? You know, do you have like a 9-to-5 to help fund this with some of the funds from creating your art? How would one go about having their own space?
So I do have a full-time job. I do the art full-time, but I also have a full-time job. as a caregiver.
I love that.
Yeah, so I have an individual who lives with me. He's been with me for 7 years, an autistic gentleman.
Yeah.
And so he is, it's crazy because our where we live is really this controlled environment. It's just he and I in there, right?
Okay, yeah.
But he's a creative too. He's an artist. So he's a musical savant. So he plays the piano. Can't read music, but he can play anything.
That's dope.
And then he's also an actor. He does for the Lincoln Community Playhouse. He's like theatrical. The brother's ridiculous, man. Like, super talented. And so we have this space, and he knows that I'm an artist and he's an artist, and we kind of bond in that area where we're both creatives, and it's just, and so that's my full-time gig, and I really love that because it's still I get to help people. Exactly. The job is not like a job where I'm just making money. I get to actually help him, get to learn from him as much as I'm teaching him. He's teaching me too. So it's this beautiful thing, man. But it's not always easy. It's not always like this. That's true. It's a lot of work, but I'm here for it.
So like, how did you end up getting this space? Who did you know?
So,
because I'm sure this place is expensive. We're right above the mill.
Yeah, it's in the Haymarket. So I had a friend, Alec Perry. His dad owns this building, right? Mm-hmm. So I knew him, and then a friend of mine had told me about this space up here, and I came and checked it out, and right away I was like, "This is perfect. Yep, this is perfect, right downtown." And Mr. Maxi is right down the block. Yeah, so that's my boy. So most nights, if I'm not up here painting, we're sitting on the dock out there, smoking a cigar, man, and talking about life and all the things we're grateful for, and so.
Okay.
Yeah, but I love this space. I'm grateful for this space for sure, man.
Okay, so when I look at JevonWoods.com, I love the pieces. Which art trends inspire or like influence your work? Do you see anything out there that kind of inspires your work? Like a little mixture of this artist, this artist. What would you say inspires that? Oh, yeah, look behind you. This is the youth rally.
Yeah.
Oh, that's their 30-year
anniversary. Shout out to Pete Ferguson for commissioning.
Shout out to Pete Ferguson.
And shout out to Dr. Bollock for getting that. She started that 30 years ago. And so,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And all the youth that have taken courageous enough to be a part of that over the years. Super dope. So I'm glad to be a part of that.
Okay. Has it always been Afrocentric, or how has your style changed over the time since 7 years ago?
It's pretty much always been that, just finding different ways to express that and show that and represent us. And the goal is always to represent us in just everyday life.
Okay,
it doesn't have to be, and it just more and more. I've been thinking about that more and more, and just trying to capture us and just doing everyday simple things. Not anything extraordinary, but just that's art in itself. You know what I mean? That is true. And it doesn't have to be anything. It could be someone just sitting, just something, capturing that sort of. But it's always been that, and always probably will be.
Okay. Yeah. Because you are colorblind, right?
Yeah.
I need y'all to go look at JevonWoods.com. Yeah. Tell me if you think this man is colorblind.
so the colorblind.
Yeah. Did that like develop, or were you born with that?
No, so I was born that way. So my brothers are the same way too. So it's certain. So it's like you ever go and get your eye tested when they have the little book and they're like, what number do you see? So as they're going through the page, it's like, okay, I can see a 1. I turn to the next page, and I don't see anything. And they're like, oh, what about this page? I'm like, oh, I don't see. I just see a bunch of colors. And they're like, oh, so it's certain colors. So like blues that fade into like a purplish, greens and browns, yellows and neon, like different things that kind of blend, because there's so many colors on the spectrum.
That's crazy.
And so you start to look, and I'm like, no, like my daughter always has to I'm like, send her a picture of like what colors. It's like, that's green.
Oh,
that's not brown, or this is purple. It's not.
Dang.
Purple,
So it's kind of affected your day-to-day life as well.
It does in a way, and it used to when I was younger, I would just sketch because I couldn't match the colors the way I wanted to, because as a kid, you want to do everything exactly how you see it. And then once I got older and I realized with art, I can paint it however I want.
Exactly.
And I can see the highlights and the lowlights, so it doesn't matter. I can paint it in any sort of shade I want, and that's okay, because that's art.
Okay, so like if you have shirt, you can't. It's kind of hard. to distinguish.
Yeah.
So what do you see? Do you just see like?
So I see like, is it brown?
It's like a mixture of brown, red,
gold.
There's
It's super dope, by the way. Yeah. And so the flowers, what are the flowers on there? Those flowers look.
Yeah, because his hat is brown and white.
Yeah, he's stylish though, man.
He is. Yeah, he got the loafers on too.
I seen him when he came in. I'm not mad at that. I like that. So this right here, that's blue.
Correct. That's I don't even know what that is. It's like a dark. It's like a navy, if anything.
Okay, navy. That's a reddish, right?
Correct.
That is brown.
It's orange, so I can see why you thought that.
Yeah, see, that looks brown. And then what about in here?
It's like a gold.
Gold, okay. Yeah.
So what does your wardrobe look like then?
Man, it's mostly black.
Okay.
Mostly black. Yeah, mostly black or just really.
That's why he don't look like he crack anyway.
Yeah, if it gets too complex, I'm just like, nah, I don't know what that's a little. You know? And then I put it on, and then certain lights, it looks a certain color, and then you get outside, and somebody's like, bro, like, what you got on? Yeah. I think it's art, man.
Okay. Ooh. When you're creating something, how do you put a price tag on that?
It's a good question, man.
Because I always have that question, like a big piece of, like you have a huge canvas of something, and you would think as like a potential customer, the bigger the space, the more expensive it's going to be because you got to use more paint. It's going to take more time. But I don't think that's always the case. How do you go about putting a price on your art?
That's really, it's challenging for me. I'm not gonna lie, because I've heard people say they charge by the square foot, right? They're like,
they charge by the square
inch, and they're like, but that doesn't always pan out either.
That's true.
And it's like, I sat on a panel and a couple artists were like, I don't want to charge I charge by this and I stick to that. And I'm like, that's your choice, because you can't really truly put a price on it.
I was just gonna say that's tough.
You come up with something that you're comfortable with parting ways with it. Right?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, this is fine. And sometimes people are like, yeah, that's fine, I'll pay that. And a lot of times
like, oh,
you don't hear back from people. You'll just disappear, man. It's like, you post something, you're like, oh, I love this. How much are you selling that? How much is that? And I'm like, $800 or $1,000. And like, and it's just that's the end. Yeah, that's the end of that.
Because like I see on your website, it's affordable too.
Yeah. Because I sell prints too, so I'll do prints, and I'll do like
smart.
Yeah, so I'll do prints. I'll do like a certain number. If I do a piece, like this piece right here, this Nipsey piece, I sold a bunch of prints of that. So I got 20 prints, limited prints made, and then I'll sell the prints. I'll do either roll prints or canvas prints. So people can decide. Like there's a couple people who decide they like an original. And you can go, instead of paying for the original, I'll get a high quality canvas print.
Okay.
So it looks just like it's on a canvas and just hang it up.
I didn't even know that's possible.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite and least favorite part of professional art?
My favorite part is just the process, man, and just the freedom to create. And, with art, it's one of the things that one of the few things that we can do where like no one can tell you can't paint that. Like, no one can tell you that's against the law to create that or to express that or show that I can express it however I want. So that's what I love the most about that. One of the things I least love about is, gosh, I don't know what I least. I mean, because I'm open enough to still be discovering new parts of it, right?
Okay.
So I'm still in the process, and I think I'll continue to be on that road. So it's like there's challenges in completing pieces. At times you just run out of, like, you start a piece, you're excited about it, and then you get to working on it, and you kind of lose the steam. And then
it happens.
You end up with a bunch of projects that just aren't
just halfway finished.
But it's dope too, because you can go revisit those.
Exactly.
And it's like you get to look at an old thing in a new way, right? So
yes, that's true.
Yeah, you change over
with new understanding in life.
Yep. So and then it might take a whole nother route. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
And we're back. So, Jevon.
Yes.
If you had to start over, how would you do things again when it comes to art, having your website, having your own studio? How would you go about things?
I would have gotten started earlier, man. I just would have gotten started with the just earlier, man. When it was, I would have never let it go. I would have never put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Know? But with that being said, I still I respect the timing of things too, you know, and everything in the right time. You know, like it's like being ready for something. Like if you're not ready for something, a blessing or whatever it is, and it gets brought to your way and you're not ready for it, you're gonna fumble it.
That's true.
You're gonna drop it.
That's how I feel.
You know, and if we're ready for it, then we're ready to receive that and align with the thing. You know what I mean? And so I just would have got started early, but I appreciate the timing of things.
Yeah. Sure. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your personal life. How does being an artist affect your personal life and your social life?
With the personal life and like my social life, so it's like I put art, it's a priority to me, right?
Okay.
So it's like some people understand that, some people don't.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like if I'm an artist and people want your time, they want your time, and I'm like, well, no, I don't have the time to
yes.
And so my art comes first, and if I want to go do something or I have an idea, I'm going to go leave.
Yes.
To go honor the art, you know, and a lot of people don't, and I don't expect everyone to understand that or to accept that. That's not that, but that's what I do. So it makes it a little difficult, you know. And plus, I'm not the most social individual, so it's like,
do you be going out at all?
I every once in a while, but it's really quick. It's like out and then back in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, somebody's birthday, I'm gonna go say what's up. Get out.
Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm not. Yeah, I just don't. I don't spend a lot of time out.
Okay. So if y'all follow this man on social media, whether it's his Facebook, whether it's Instagram, you see him out in the mornings. What does your morning routine look like?
Morning routine.
Let's say on a typical day, and like, what is like your best kind of morning? What are some of the things you do?
Getting up, and the best part is getting up and walking the lake when the sun rises. So
which lake?
Holmes Lake.
Oh, okay.
So the sunrise, catching the sunrise around, it's just stillness in the morning and trying to take care of my things, because like I have a full-time job and I'm a father and responsible, and so a lot of people expect a lot from me. So if I don't take care of myself first and get everything that I need to take care of first, my walk, my meditation, my gratitude list, the gym, the sauna, all these things take care of early on. Yeah. That way I'm here for everybody else.
Ready for the world.
Right, and that way I don't feel like if someone needs something, I don't feel like I need to go do my thing.
Yeah.
First, I don't feel resentful. I got all that out the way.
Yes.
You know? And that's been the biggest thing for me, to make sure I take care of myself first, and I tell everybody to keep your cup full. You know, we have to keep our cups full, because what happens is people will not keep their cup full, and they'll continue to pour into other people from the drops that they have left. Yes. And then they get upset with everybody because, oh, I would have done this for you and I gave when I didn't. Well, you shouldn't have done that. Yeah. You know, you're not supposed to do that, you know.
I had to learn that, bro.
Yeah.
Because like when I first started at NeighborWorks, I was like, it's new job. You're trying to be a man in the community. There's all these things going on. Right. They're like, oh, you're good at this. Could you help us out with this? Right. And I just kept doing it. Yeah. I just kept doing it because I like to give back. Right. But I didn't do my like morning routine or my self-care kind of thing.
Put yourself on the back burner.
And then I was just like, why do I feel like resentful? Yeah. It's because I wasn't keeping my cup full.
That's exactly what it is, bro.
And like, it's crazy because I started this brand called Yedo. Yeah. So you are the one. So it's really about understanding our gifts.
I need one of them hats too, bro.
Yeah.
You sell them?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, I have to understand, like, it's not selfish for me to care about myself, because once I'm good, I can then be good for the rest of the world.
That's it, man. That's my motto.
But I have to know what I do like, what I don't like, so I can then have boundaries as well. Because if you don't put up boundaries, people will they'll walk over you.
Man, they will. And it's not even their fault.
No, it's not.
It's my fault for not having the boundaries set up, you know what I mean? And so it's like, that's so important to keep our cup full and be selfish in that sense. And everyone, think about selfishness, everyone thinks negative. I'm like, no, it's
true.
a good thing to be selfish for yourself and take care of yourself. That way you can be there for everybody else without resentment following you, because it'll always happen. You can tell when someone's pouring from an empty cup, because the conversation always says, it always comes back to around, well, I did this for you.
Exactly.
And you know, you never do for me what I do for you. And I'm like, well, no, like you should have been doing that for yourself.
You should have been doing that out of love. Yeah,
doing that out of love. That way you do stuff out of love. You don't even, you hardly remember what you've done for anybody.
Exactly. I don't respect anything in return.
No. That's the best way to give, man, or to anonymously give when no one even knows it's you.
My mom told me, she was like, I need to take care of me so I can be there for you and take care of you. She told me that when I was young. Didn't understand that. Right. But now I understand.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because like they have, as a parent, they got all those responsibilities, bills, the rat race of life. But if you can't be good, that's why mental health is a huge factor in people's lives these days, of taking care of you. Yeah. And I think people will understand if you kind of like give them like I have calls all the time that I'm like, I don't feel that I can give myself right now. I need to control that. Like I have cousins, I have friends that hit me up like, hey, you didn't hit me back. I was like, bro, I feel like in the past I would have justified it.
Right.
Sometimes I just don't need to.
You don't have to.
I just didn't want to get on the phone.
Yeah, and that's the truth of the matter. Yeah. And I think long as we're delivering our truth, like I can't, if I'm being truthful about whatever it is, how someone responds to that, that's not, I don't have any control over that. Exactly. I don't control how someone might respond, whether they understand it or not. I just had to deliver my truth to them.
I love it.
Yeah.
What does success mean to Jevon?
Success. I think it means being authentic, and being authentic to myself, and being authentic to my purpose. Yes. At that time, because our purpose has changed and we have multi-purposes and we do all kind of things, but just being authentic to the calling. Yes. Being authentic to the calling. Right. And then the voice, like the voice that was calling you for the longest time to come back to art. To come back. Yeah. To come back, because that voice is never going to go. I have a buddy who he wants to make a pivot in his career, and he wants to get into something else, and I'm like, bro, like that voice that's calling, is never going to be quiet. Yeah, bro. It's going to continue to nag at you until you align with it and give it a real voice. But it's just going to be right there, and you'll carry it with you forever, and you'll be saying, hey, I wish I would have done that. That's so true. You know, go after that.
I once heard like one of the richest places in the world are funerals. Because there's a lot of dreams that did not come to be because people didn't listen to their calling. Yep. And it's not even that the idea that you had to become a business. It was more of like something that nobody else could have brought out but you. Right. Is your gift to the world. It might not make monetary sense, but it's giving value to the world. Right. And a lot of people, and I think it's a little bit of self-doubt, but it's also they don't want to be criticized.
Yep, that's the biggest thing.
But it's like anything you do in life is going to be criticized. Yeah, yeah. But it shouldn't stop you from bringing your gift to the world.
No, we have to be courageous in that sense. You know what I mean? Because it's like you said, the graveyard is filled with people who just didn't.
Yes. And we don't want to be like that.
No,
guys.
It took beautiful ideas and things that could have shifted the whole consciousness of the planet. That could have ideas and that could have changed the way we looked at things, changed the way we did things. And didn't have enough courage to bring that to the light.
Exactly.
So, to the gravestone. But I was also listening to Rick Rubin, and he talked about when ideas come to us. Yeah. And he was like, if you have an idea and something comes to you, whether it's an idea, a creative idea, or something that you want to do, and you don't do it. Yeah. When it comes to you, he's like, it will find another host. It will find somebody else. And that's why you always see something. You're like, I thought of that idea. Yeah. He was like, yeah, it came to you, but you didn't know, okay, it wanted to be birthed right now. It wanted to be brought into existence, and you didn't do it. You said, I put it on the back burner. Dang. And then you turn around a year later, and that's the same idea I had. Well, yeah, it came to you. Just had to find someone else that was willing to move forward with it and bring it into reality, you know?
That's so true. Okay. Who would you say are three most influential people in your life right now?
Right now.
Man. If it wasn't for them bringing out their gifts, it wouldn't have allowed you to be where you are right now?
Influential. I'm inspired by my kids, man.
I love it. Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to Kendall and Jevon.
Junior?
Yeah, Jevon Jr.
That's what's up.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he's 16 and Kendall is 18. She's a freshman at UNL. But just her fearlessness.
Yeah.
Just willing to go after the thing and to put in the work and understand that it is work. And
it is
shying
work.
away from any sort of work and like really goal oriented at long-term and short-term goals. And then just being courageous enough to go after that. That inspires me to see them like fearless.
Yes.
To go do their thing. And then also Mr. Maxi, I'm just inspired by
Yeah,
Mr.
shout out to
Maxi.
Mr. Maxi, man.
And just the way he lives his life and his life from Tona. I was like, man, your life is like a movie, bro.
It really is.
Like
I feel like he should have like a documentary.
he's writing a book right now.
He is?
Yeah.
That's so dope.
Yeah, he's writing a book, a memoir. You know what I mean?
That's so fire.
Because, he came here in 1950, in the 50s, right?
Yes.
Played basketball. And then
At a predominantly white institution.
Yeah.
At Nebraska.
And then was a police officer for 35 years.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
a bodyguard for MLK when he came and did a speech at the Pershing.
Yeah, that picture is epic.
Yes.
And so then all the marathons and just he's done all kind of stuff, man. And so he's just inspiring to me. And I'm like, as a black man to make it to 87 in America, I was like, you beat a lot of odds, man.
Yes.
Like that doesn't happen very often,
He said the last time he did a marathon was like in his 60s or
65.
70s. I said, what?
65 when he ran his last marathon, which is crazy.
Bro, he's a different person, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Mr. Maxi.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Maxi.
What advice do you have for, folks to grow either their artistic business or any kind of creative business? What do you think? What is a tip?
I think the biggest thing, man, that it keeps coming back to is like to just to be courageous enough to do it. Even if you don't know where to start it, to do it and be, courageous enough to put your stuff out there. Put your stuff out there, man. Like you never know who to connect with, but then there's just something that's freeing about putting it out there and letting them deal with whatever it is.
Exactly.
And being able to do that and just to have the courage to step into who you want to be, and not let that fear, because that fear, it just lives in our head, which is crazy. It's nothing outside of us.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it just lives, and we can feed it as much as we want, or we can starve it, you know what I mean? But if we feed in it, man, it grows, and we can box ourselves in and never do nothing just out of fear, man.
Yes.
The whole life will pass you by and you just were scared the whole time.
That's what reminds me of also Rick Rubin. He was like, create something that you enjoy.
There it is.
Because if you enjoy it and you put it out there, it doesn't really matter what other people think.
Facts. That's facts.
And that's whether you're creating like a mural or any kind of piece, whether that's putting out music, whether putting out photography like Rick, or something like a video. It doesn't really matter. If you give it the approval, you should be happy with that.
That's it.
If other people like it, cool. If they don't, cool.
Yeah. That sort of mindset, I think that's at the top. Like you have to, if you can think along those lines. Yeah. You continue to do the thing. It doesn't matter if I like it. It's like any sort of expression. Yeah. Why you got that on? Because I like it. Yeah. I put that on. You know what I mean? Because I like it. I like it. And that's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like wearing a piece of clothing when I was younger, they're like, "Why are you wearing that?" And I'm like, it had to be a theme or something like that. But I just like it.
I like it.
And that's crazy because like I don't know, from the family I'm in, I feel like everything I have to do has to be justified. Yeah. But I didn't know that I could just do things just to do things.
Right. And it becomes, once you realize, there's another level of freedom.
Yes.
Liberation, because I'm like,
my girlfriend told me that all the time. I was like, "Hey babe, do you think I could do this?" She was like, "Why are you asking me? Just do it."
Just do it.
Yeah. And I was like, "Damn, that's that easy?" Yeah. Not saying it's easy. It'll be a hard path. Right. But the thing is, you'll grow from it. And that's the positive in it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna grow, like nothing grows and it's uncomfortable, right? We know
that's so true.
We know that things only grow in discomfort.
Yes.
Right. And so if we're comfortable in like, and that's not to say that we shouldn't find comfort in life.
Yeah.
But comfort is only a place to relax for a moment.
Exactly.
It's not anywhere we want to
it's
ever
to rest.
stay. It's just to rest and have some comfort, but then to get back out there and stretch ourselves and put ourselves in these uncomfortable situations or just challenging situations where we know, okay, I'm going to grow from this. It's challenging, but the things I'll learn about myself and the way I'll be stretched in this way, it's worth it.
That's some wisdom. What are 3 things people should know about you that we didn't touch on?
Let's see, man, that's a good one. What they should know. Nothing. No, I'm just kidding. I think people should know that. It's a good question, man.
Yeah, I'd like to ask that question because people, I don't know, man.
Right. No, that I think people should know that beyond the art, that, gosh, you got to kind of stump me on that one. Yeah, that's kind of.
I'm doing my job.
You doing? No, that's a good one, man. I don't know. The thing that people should know. It's always because there's always people who ask. They want to know something.
Yeah, they want to know something that most people don't have access to knowing.
Right.
You know?
And I like to tell a lot of times like those sort of things happen like organically within like an organic sort of like happening just with anybody, like our interactions with people. It's like people are always showing us who they are.
Yes.
Or things they're either saying or not saying, or the subtleties in the body language, or the movement, the excitement, and when you see all these different things. And so I don't know, that I guess the biggest thing that I'm layered. There's so many different parts of me, so many different versions, just so many different layers, man. And
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, there was a part that I skipped earlier, but as a man with wisdom, I know health, mentality, spirituality mean a lot to you.
Right.
You're always spreading gems and information and, some words of affirmation for folks. What kind of seed would you like to give to folks out there listening that are on their, I would say they're on their seeking journey, spiritual seeking? What is a gem that you would give them?
Just to be open to the changes that are occurring in us. Like we're all constantly changing in subtle ways all the time. And so I like to liken it to, like, I was talking to a friend the other day and I was telling her, like, it's like the seasons. Like, so we're in the fall season now. It's time to start letting go of things. If you align yourself with the seasons of life, right? And so it's like, let go of these things. You have things that you've been wanting to talk about that you want to let go, and let them go.
Yeah.
And it's just like the leaves of the tree. Like, you let these go, and the leaves, they fall off. They reluctantly. The last ones are falling in November, right?
Yeah.
But they're making way for new.
Yes.
New growth is on the way, but they cannot grow if those old ones hang on forever.
That's true.
So that's the same thing with us. If we're holding on to old ideals about ourselves or old versions of ourselves, because that's where we found a lot of comfort. And I'm like, no, there's a whole nother version of you waiting to happen.
Yes.
If we are courageous enough to say, you know what, I'm going to step into that. I'm going to take that step. I'm going to be that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be whatever that version of me is in my mind's eye. And I want to live that. I want to be that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then we start taking steps towards doing that. That's the biggest thing that I practice. And it's all a practice.
Ooh, there you go. It's all ritual / practice. It has to be something that you like create a pattern for.
Yeah.
Just like you do when you're meditating or lighting sage or getting into space. It takes repetition in a sense.
It really does, man. It does. It takes that sort of intentional and just like, but the repetition and the routine and like, okay, and then the focus. Like, if we're really trying to become something, it's like, okay, we know that we're going to have to let go of not only old patterns of ourselves, but sometimes we have to let go of people, man, and that's not always an easy thing. It's hard, because, we all have friends that we either, I was with you for that part of the journey, man. Like, and that's not to say anything's wrong with you.
Yeah.
But that I'm heading this way, you're heading that way, you're heading a whole different way on your own journey. Not anything's wrong with your journey.
Exactly.
And mine's over here, and that's not to say that we won't come back around.
Yes.
Years from now, but like we're willing to let that go and to say, I need to grow and you need to grow, and so we don't grow together. We're just kind of running on a hamster wheel here, and you know, go do your thing.
You know how many times I've told people that? Like, I've had so many people are trying to figure out how to start their own kind of journey. And I think it's a lot of the times they want to be around their close friends that they grew up with.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, you need to have your own journey.
Yeah. And
it's not saying that y'all can't be homies, y'all can't be girlfriends no more. But it's like, you need to figure out who you are.
Right.
Because like at that point, you aren't chained down by anything or what your friend thinks of you or blah, 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 blah. We'll still have time for us to like catch up. Once we see each other again, we'll start back where we left off. But the thing is, I want people to remember that it's also an individual journey as well.
It really is.
It can't just be always about being with your friends.
It's really an individual. Like, this is the thing about it. Like, when we arrived here,
yes,
planet, we arrived alone.
Yes.
And we'll exit out of here alone. Too.
Correct.
So it's like most of the journey, we journey with people along the way for a certain amount of time, but it's like, I got to continue on. I'm on my own path.
Exactly.
You know? And you're on your own path too. And it's like the timeline, if things will line up again, they'll line up. But if not, hey, we can stay in touch. But I still have to keep on moving and be true to my path.
Yeah. And then you can find your community that way too.
You really do.
And at that point, it's not necessarily about letting go of people. It's just like, okay, now I'm in an area with like-minded folks. So at that point, you don't feel like super attached to one person. It's more of like the community.
Yeah.
Because like your friends that you grew up with are great. But the thing is, you can only have certain conversations with your friends.
That's it.
But with the things that you're interested in, you can find community within that interest.
Very true.
So I try and tell people, focus on yourself a little bit so you can then figure out what are the things that I like, what are the things that I'm curious about. Then you'll naturally find that community, that tribe. So at that point, you can then kind of cultivate that seed of ideas and whatnot. And if your friends, you see your friends here and there, cool. You can still reach out to them, get coffee, blah, blah, blah. But you just got to tell them where you're at right now.
For sure.
And it's not about like, like you're not at different levels. It's just like you're different parts of the journey. We're all on the same level playing field.
There you go.
We're just have different steps. You know what I'm saying?
Different steps. We're moving at different paces.
Yes.
We're and everybody's point of view and their journey. Like I'm just playing the background on a lot of people's journey.
Yes,
in my
that's
life.
true.
But I'm the first person on mine as
exactly
we should do with everybody.
Yes.
And honoring that enough not to try to attach to anyone else's journey. It's like, no, you have your own light. Like,
Yes.
And shine that as bright as you need to. The world needs it.
The world does need it. All right. Let's do rapid fire questions.
Right.
Okay. Imagine that your paintings could talk. What would they say about you?
Finish me. Finish me up, man. Get me done, man.
Okay. What's the most bizarre thing you've seen while people watching smoking a cigar downstairs?
Oh, man. God, that's a good one, man. Oh, man.
I know you've seen some.
We've seen some crazy stuff down there, man. The thing that keeps coming up. So I'll tell the story. There was one that was really crazy. The scooters that people.
Oh yeah, the lime scooters.
The lime scooters. So they were probably 20, 30 teenage boys down here, and they all had scooters.
Oh.
And they were blocking off the intersection right here on 8th and P, right in front of the mill, and they were chanting, "Take over, take over, take over," and had the traffic backed up. I mean, 5-10 minutes just.
Dang.
And me and Mr. Maxi were kind of watching. I said, "What's going on?" And then they would leave and go to another intersection and do that. So
and
that
do
was
the same thing.
Yeah, that was just one of them, like, what are y'all doing?
Take over with scooters.
Take over with scooters. And they stopped the traffic. It worked. I mean, nobody wanted to hit them.
Okay. Which artists have the greatest influence on your work?
I see some Basquiat.
Basquiat, for sure. I just like Basquiat's free. This is it's free flow.
Yes.
And I like to get more of a free flow style where it's just, more instinctual. So I really like Basquiat stuff.
Is that Basquiat inspired, that one over there?
That is a Basquiat print too, yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah, so I got a bunch of Basquiat prints. I got some at home too, but all his work is just the colors and the vibrance,
Yeah.
And then just the freedom to create from not necessarily an image, but just from pulling it from his mind and putting it on and not necessarily understanding what it is, or even not us, but just him. And it goes back to what Rick Rubin said, where it's like, if I like it, then I like that's fine. Yeah.
What is the weirdest combination of food you enjoy?
The weirdest combination. God, man, I don't know. The last thing I ate, a couple people told me it was kind of weird. They were bean sprouts.
Bean sprouts, yeah, I've had those.
Bean sprouts, roasted seaweed, avocado, cucumber, and
brother eating good.
Yeah, it was good, man. It was like, I'm thinking about it right now. No, but that was good. I don't think it's weird, but a lot of people like that's just a little bit different than
too healthy for me.
Yeah. So, but that's always good though, man. Just
okay.
Like that.
I know you wouldn't want to do this next question, but it's the question.
Right.
If you could swap lives with someone for a day, who would it be and why? Dead or alive?
Dead or alive for a day. You know what? I think it would be my son.
Oh.
I think I would swap lives with my son for a day, just to see, man.
Oh, you want to spy on him?
I want to see what he's up to. No, it's just different, you know, with the kids nowadays in school. It's just I'd like to see what that's.
Okay.
You know,
I've never heard that answer. That's good. Yeah. What is something that you love most about yourself?
I love the way I think. I love my mindset, and that it's not fixed. That I'm open to learning.
Okay.
And unlearning.
Okay.
And, you know, and just willing to think outside the box and willing to think on my own terms. You know what I mean?
Okay.
For my own, yeah. So that's why I really am grateful for that.
Okay. If there was a movie made about your life, what genre would it be?
That's a good question. I have to say it would be comedy, man.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, it would be comedy for sure, man, because that's one of my favorite things to do, man. A lot of people don't
you
know
done some funny things.
Yeah, I think I'm a comedian. Like, my best friends, they would always, and I tell them this, I'm like, I'm the funniest.
Yeah,
y'all know that, man. and so, but I know I just love laughter in general. Laughter is one of the best. You know, the old thing, laughter is medicine, and it really is a beautiful thing to find.
It really
things
is.
to laugh at, especially ourselves. You know what I mean? So.
Did you enjoy your time on Blazin A Trail Podcast?
Man, super dope, man. You know,
my man.
You already know. Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have any questions for us, actually?
Man. You know what? Which episode is this?
Actually, I don't know.
Don't know.
We're in the 30-something.
Really?
Yeah.
What inspired the podcast?
I needed somebody to ask questions.
Yeah.
That were pertaining to which path should I take on my journey. So I reached out to the people that were in my kind of network to kind of ask how they got to where they were.
Yeah.
So then I was like, wait, I should like help people benefit from my friends.
There you go.
How if they were trying to become a business owner, these are some of the obstacles that would come for them. So if they wanted to do this, they could be like, is it worth it or not?
Right.
So that's when I was like, yeah, we should definitely do a podcast.
Yeah.
Because it happened the idea came in 2019 with my buddy Jack. Jack is in New York. He's now doing production, a model or something. But yeah, we were going to start at UNL, then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And then I graduated 2020.
Yeah.
So we didn't start until like late 2020. No. Yeah, late 2020.
Really?
Yeah, here we are now.
Here we are.
Do you have anything to promote?
I don't, man. No.
JevonWoods.com.
Yeah, JevonWoods.com, and just promote good health, not just physical, but mental, spiritual, emotional.
Okay.
Take care of herself. You know
and
what I mean?
where can people find you on social media?
J.E. Woods. J.E. Woods on Instagram.
You gonna get something.
Yeah.
You gonna get some gems out of there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on the show, Jevon.
Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate you.
Yes.
So.
As always, I would like to thank y'all for listening to Blazin A Trail Podcast. Remember to leave a 5-star review, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment about what you learned about our friend here, Jevon. Make sure to follow us at Blazin A Trail Podcast on Instagram. Shout out to KZUM. I think we'll be able to fit this in on 89.3 FM radio station. And here is my advice that I always give to you guys. Don't be so hard on yourself. Yes. Make sure you take action on your trail. It's either one day or day one. Okay? You have to choose. As always, Trailblazers, start with yourself because you are the one. So make it happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.